Fear predates humanity. Its power and influence reaches past culture, species, and time to unite us all against a hostile world. For as long as we have had language, we have had stories about things that go bump in the night. If you're familiar with my channel, Skald of Cthulhu, you might know my series of shorts cataloging every vampire from every culture ever. In this video, I'm going to take a longer look at one of my more favorite bits of vampire folklore. But to do that, first we have to talk about Serbian ethnologist Tatomir Vukanovic. Humanity and its cultures come in a never-ending amount of variation and flavor. So diverse is the human animal that people spend their entire lives immersed in and in observation of other people. Tatomir Vukanovic was one such fascinated observer. Born in 1907 in Varanj, Serbia, Tatomir held a deep love and appreciation for the stories and culture of Yugoslavia. Given that this region is the birthplace for most of the vampiric folklore we all are familiar with today, it was only a matter of time before Tatomir's cultural explorations would take him into the realm of fear. Between tales of vampiric creatures, their hunters, and the tricks the common man uses to keep them at bay, Tatomir was told an interesting story indeed.
Have you or a loved one been unjustly exposed to the maddening effects of the Necronomicon? Did you purchase friendly house spirits that have now become violent and malicious? Has Grandpa shown up on the door smelling like the grave and talking about how hungry he is?
Well, unfortunately for all of you, I am not a lawyer and I can't actually do anything about that, but I do run the page Skald of Cthulhu. Here, every single day, I like to talk about grim dark lore, be it vampiric creatures and spirits from cultures all around the world, to mythological items, superstitions that I guarantee you never heard of, weird words, stupid little skits like this that are marginally better and more well put together. And also, if you love anything from the Cthulhu mythos, you're going to find it here, from beasts to gods to actual media review. One of my most recent long-form videos was reviewing an animated short on the other gods. It's actually pretty cool. You should check it out. But seriously, if Grandpa is at the door and he's asking you to let him in, please just don't. Oh, also, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and then the hype train. There's so many things. Just do all of the things to help the video exist. Thank you so much. Before the time of science, everything from crop failure to disease has been blamed on some unseen malevolence. Though nowadays we know what germs are, and so we don't blame coughs on ghosts or weak moral fiber, we do still tend to wield boogeymen as a way to get children to behave. Much in the same vein, Tatomir recorded a story in his book, The Journal of the Gypsy Lore Society, that the Lasani gypsies of Serbia told him. To paraphrase from his entry, "The Lasani gypsies of Serbia have a belief that by keeping a pumpkin or watermelon in one's home for more than 10 days, by drying it out and using it as a siphon that has not been opened for 3 or more years, or by keeping it in the house after Christmas Day, will cause it to become a vampire. The vampiric fruit will look much like it did before its spoiling, maintaining its color, shape, and size. Fortunately, the vampiric pumpkin or watermelon does not actually attack anyone in a physical way, making it quite possibly the most harmless of all vampires. However, it does ooze blood and roll around on the floor, making an annoying burr, burr, burr sound. To destroy the vampire pumpkin, there's a precise process that must be followed. First, the fruit must be boiled in water, after which the water is thrown away. Then the vampire is scrubbed with a short whisk broom, and the pumpkin is thrown away. Lastly, the broom must be burned." Now, as far as tales of blood-sucking demons go, the vampire pumpkin or watermelon is obviously rather tame and even kind of childishly goofy, though interestingly, it does bring up another aspect to the concept of folklore and anthropology in general, and that is the contention on whether the Lasani gypsies ever actually believed in vampire pumpkins in the first place. Now, there are arguments that Tatomir Vukanovic was honestly just being messed with, and that some of the people that he was interviewing and learning their culture from were just kind of pulling his leg. But what's interesting about that is, regardless of whether or not anyone ever actually truly believed in vampire pumpkins or watermelons, it's entered the larger vampiric mythos anyway. Terry Pratchett's 1998 book Carpe Jugulum makes use of the motif, as well as a webcomic named Digger that makes use of a field of vampiric butternut squash. One of the reasons I love dark folklore so much is because it can afford us a very unique window into the culture that created it. In a world of increasing division, it is oftentimes the more base experiences that can bring us back together. A curiosity for another culture, a fear for what lurks in the shadows, or even just making fun of some dork who doesn't know any better.